Lots of people forget Epstein also had a secret bank account that actually moved money after he allegedly took himself out.
Aware there's this one bank account he had when he died. This is a Virgin Island account. So he had like 693,000, let's say around 700,000 in it. And then 4 months later, somebody deposits $15.5 million, and then it's gone by the end of the year.
Yeah, nothing to see here, not suspicious at all, as of course the Epstein saga just took a very interesting turn, as we have some very interesting internal battles between Thomas Massie, Donald Trump, Speaker of the House Mike Johnson, as right now a lot of people are bringing up the fact that there's a lot more to the story than, of course, we're being told. As right now, Virginia Roberts' Giuffre book has just officially come out, and there are a lot of bombshell allegations, even against her own father, as one of the biggest people affected by this is, of course, Prince Andrew, that, by the way, settled out of court in a previous lawsuit with Virginia Roberts, as now her tell-all post-mortem memoir has been officially released. Now, what's in this memoir? As we are also getting some very interesting detail about the Ghislaine Maxwell prison cover-up that, of course, we're going to be talking about in this particular video, as well as we're learning that prison staff members are being gagged, inmates are being vanished after leaking information about Ghislaine Maxwell. What in the world's going on here? As it's pretty clear, something weird is definitely going on here, and I think it deserves our attention and our time. If you agree, share this video with your friends and family members. I greatly appreciate all the time that, of course, you spend with us. As right now, Speaker Johnson told Politico that if there will be a floor vote on releasing the Epstein files, it will happen when the House returns. Now, the House has been delayed from returning, as a lot of people are just concluding and speculating that this is regards because of this discharge petition that Thomas Massie, congressman, has been pushing forward. In response to this, Thomas Massie has faced a lot of pushback, a lot of accusations, a lot of attacks. A lot of people are going after him, including the president of the United States. But Speaker Johnson just confirmed that when this does hit the House floor, if it hits 218 positive votes, it will go to the floor. That's going to be an interesting type of scenario and situation, as a lot of people are now, of course, talking about, hey, we actually need to do something serious about this. One of the members of Congress that has joined the fight for transparency and accountability here is, of course, MTG, as she came out and called for more transparency from our government for the American people surrounding the Epstein case.
Sex trafficking. And this is for victims that are facing horrible consequences right now due to abuse. And I can't understand why this has been seemingly the biggest fight in Washington, D.C. It certainly shouldn't be. It's a general consensus across America that most people don't understand why these files haven't been released and fully support them being released. And that's why I've done everything I can I work on the Oversight Committee. I'm participating in the current investigation we're doing in the House on the Oversight Committee into the Epstein case. But I also signed my name on a discharge petition in the House to release the files.
Yes.
I think it's the most common sense thing to do, and it's the right thing to do.
Absolutely. Yeah, as a lot of people are speculating, what's really in those files and why is there such a big fight in order from the information inside of them to be prevented from being released to the general public? As right now, we have Virginia Roberts Giuffre, someone who no longer, of course, is here with us at the age of 41. She is alleged to have taken her own existence, as her father has come out and says that he does not believe the official version of events. As now, in her own memoir, Virginia Roberts accuses her own father of forcing himself on her when she was just 9 years old. Yes, you heard that correctly, as the father has now officially come out and has denied a lot of these claims here. Who do you believe? Well, it's important to note here that there's a lot of accusations flying back and forth. There's a lot of people saying that Virginia Roberts was not telling the truth. A lot of people are saying she was not well. Some people are saying she is telling the truth here. I think the very fact that, a lot of the accusations are, some of them are just salacious. Some of them are just absolutely horrible and disgusting. Other ones are pretty interesting, because, of course, yesterday we all talked about the, quote, well-known prime minister that beat her bloody and forced himself on her. That, of course, wasn't named here. Now, he wasn't named in the book as well, but a lot of people believe, and a lot of people see, that there's an overwhelming amount of evidence that this prime minister was Ehud Barak from Israel, as, of course, that was the most kind of prominent prime minister that Epstein was hanging out with, doing business deals with, and also trying to broker and do a security business with, that he probably did do, where there's now leaked emails highlighting how they were trying to get official meetings with individuals like Peter Thiel in order to discuss this new kind of security business that Epstein and Ehud Barak would, of course, be involved in. Now, there's a lot of other stuff in the book, specifically when it comes to a lot of salacious acts, including 8 young women that were under the age of 18 with, allegedly, Prince Andrew. We'll get into all of that and a lot more. Before we do, we wanted to tell you about the bestpoliticalshirts.com, where you can get shirts like the one that I'm wearing right now. And it highlights the king and queens on a chessboard hanging out, having dinner, as the pawns are taking themselves out. And I think, and it says the reality of war. You want to find that shirt? You can, just by going to thebestpoliticalshirts.com. You type in war right here. You click search, and then bada bing, bada boom, we have it available here for you for $32. We also have it available in short sleeves, long sleeves, tank tops, you name it, we got it. V-necks, lady shirts. We got all of these different shirts. You got to search around here. We have a lot of anti-war messaging, since I think it's a very important message that needs to be heard by a lot of people. I like our No More War type of shirt here, highlighting the kind of peace stuff and the drone chasing it. We have it available in naval blue. We have it available in black here. And again, lots of really interesting type of conversations could be started with you wearing a t-shirt at your local bank, at your local park, at your grocery store, just going for a walk. And then, trust me, you'll get a lot of interesting conversations, to say the least. I think right now, one of the most important things to do for Donald Trump's presidency is to end these foreign conflicts. It looks like a lot of that is also kind of breaking, as it looks like the meeting in Hungary is no longer happening. It looks like the meeting in China might not even happen as well. Some big things are brewing. And I think Donald Trump's footing on it, pushing for less war, is very, very important. Now, I'm just going to do a separate video about this. But again, if you want to support it by upgrading your wardrobe. I've gone into my closet. I'm like, some of these shirts last for a very long time. I had this one for like 5 years. I think we had this one for 5 years. Just about. Great quality. We made sure the quality is best. We had some quality issues with one of our previous producers. Now we make sure all the quality is incredible. We got some really funny shirts. We got some shirts that make you laugh. We got some shirts that will get people triggered and angry. And I think it's now more than ever important for us to get involved in a conversation. Thebestpoliticalshirts.com. Click the link down in the description below and support and get some good Christmas gifts for everyone. Now, let's get back to some of the court documents, some of the financial records, as a lot of people are saying, hey, there should be a bigger story here, as right now, of course, a lot of people are sharing this image of Virginia Roberts with Prince Andrew when she was 17 years old, as she predominantly pinpoints a lot of the kind of destructive, horrible behavior from him and Ehud Barak. There was also a settlement. There was also a lawsuit. Virginia sued Prince Andrew. They settled out of court for allegedly tens of millions of dollars. We don't know the exact type of amount here, but when we look at her book that was just published today, there's stories of a bunch of adults getting it on that were under the age of 18 with the prince. She talked about losing her baby. She talked about her father abusing her at the age of 9. These are all claims being made from Virginia, quote, beyond the grave, in her new memoir that she wanted published. Now, obviously, she still kept some of the things vague here, as there are some very serious, very heavy type of topics and issues that are not easy to deal with. Now, the official version of events is that Giuffre took her own life at the age of 41. Some people don't believe that. Some people do believe that. It's pretty clear anyone going through such severe amounts of trauma and abuse are going to be dealing with some very serious situations and very serious mental health problems. And that, of course, is pretty clear here. So the jury is still out on exactly what happened here, since it does kind of add up and it does kind of make sense that, yeah, someone wasn't doing well mentally. Now, she talks about in her book about how she was recruited. She also worked at Mar-a-Lago, by the way, and then Epstein poached her from Mar-a-Lago. Now, she talks about how a lot of the kind of abuse happened to her when she was just 9, which, quote, allegedly to her made her the perfect victim for Epstein and Maxwell. Now, she talks about how when she met Prince Andrew remarked how his daughters were a little younger than her, as she was 17 years old. Then, of course, she kind of details the scandal of him saying that he couldn't sweat in this kind of car crash. British Broadcasting News interview that was just awful. It looks like Prince Andrew is exiling himself before this book came out. And there's more and more details here. Now, of course, Prince Andrew insisting he had a medical condition that made him impossible for him to sweat. It's like, what are you talking about, bro? Giuffre talks about how they also had a bath together. There was photos together. And how the British prince was, quote, very eager to get himself acquainted, as Virginia Roberts talks about how he felt very entitled and he believed him having his way with her was, quote, his birthright. That's what she says. She talks about how she was later given $15,000 for servicing other people. Now, she also talking about how Prince Andrew, there was a puppet of him that was used as a prank by Maxwell and Epstein. I don't know, that's not really important. She's talking about other type of things that Andrew is denying, but she talks about how Andrew took part in doing adult things with 8 other young women on Epstein's island back in 2001, and how the young women didn't speak English at all. They couldn't communicate. But, quote, they were the easiest girls to get along with. Andrew, of course, denied this claim. She talks about how she lost a baby without even knowing that she had a baby. She talked about how Epstein and Maxwell tried to make her a surrogate for their baby. And then she talks about how there was a Queen Jubilee deal here. And there was a reported £10 million settlement in which the prince did not have to admit any wrongdoing. Now, the British police said, yeah, we're not going to investigate any of this, by the way. It's not important to us. As, of course, there's a lot of images, like this image here of Maxwell and what looks like an extremely young Virginia Roberts here with some powerful people. As, of course, in the book, she talks about how there was a billionaire couple at the Breakers Palm Beach resort. Their names are still sealed. Details are still hidden. Who is this billionaire couple that she was allegedly sold to? Now, in this photo, she's also seen here with model Naomi Campbell. Very prominent, powerful people all involved here. Now, again, lots of the accusations go against Prince Andrew. Again, it's very fitting that right before this book dropped, Prince Andrew was like, I'm dropping out of the spotlight. I'm dropping out of my royal duties here. Giuffre also writes about how she thought she was going to die as a slave in her memoir, talking about how she tried to escape a lot of the abuse. She talks about how she was bloodied, beat up by this prime minister. As of course, a lot of people are saying there should be some more scrutiny against this quote prince here, as a lot of media organizations stopped talking about this particular story. A lot of media organizations ignored this story, ignored the victims, even after interviewing them. As now, a lot of the big establishment authorities failed here. Now, there's also a big cover-up effort, according to a lot of sources, as now there's allegations of Prince Andrew trying to dig up dirt on Virginia Giuffre. Seems like an awkward thing to do to one of your alleged victims that you sold and made a deal out of court with. As right now, there's some very interesting stuff happening surrounding Ghislaine Maxwell, who's at the center of all of this after doing an interview with the DOJ. She was given a very cushy jail upgrade. And now we're finding out, not allegedly, according to some sources working at the prison, that the prison staff have been gagged. An inmate has vanished after leaking information about Maxwell. A lot of people were saying, was she just like promoted? A lot of people in the criminal justice world are saying, you know, it's very strange for someone accused of these crimes to be given such an upgrade, as a lot of criminal justice lawyers are saying this never has happened before. She gave the interview, she exonerated Donald Trump, and again, there's a lot of Virginia Roberts exonerated Donald Trump. Okay, all right, and she worked at Mar-a-Lago. She worked at Trump's home. Now, a lot of people are saying it's just kind of weird, kind of strange how Ghislaine does that interview, and then she's literally upgraded to one of the cushiest, best prisons in the United States, where she gets to, where they literally get to play with puppies. Like, that's literally, there's no surveillance cameras. That's also very convenient. As according to a prison consultant, San Mangel, we're finding out that the inmates and the staff were warned prior to her coming there that under no circumstances they are to disclose anything that happens with her or surrounding her. Now, the information was leaked. It looked like it wasn't supposed to be leaked here. But her being moved to this detention facility from a maximum security to now a minimum security facility is very, very strange. The fact that people were told to shut up, the fact that people were gagged here, highlights how there's something else going on here that we should know about. Now, clearly, there's a cover. Now, a lot of people are saying, well, this is Trump's move. It hasn't been proven that it's Trump's move, but who else has the power in the official Bureau of Prisons to move Ghislaine Maxwell from max to minimum security prisons and give her essentially a huge deal? Now, there's also the probability of a lot of people saying there might be a pardon, especially at the end of Trump's term. Trump just pardoned a former congressman. Now, for quote identity theft. I thought the charges were also kind of very political in that nature here. What is he going to be doing with Ghislaine Maxwell? As, listen, this is the story of the decade, and listen, now with the petition, the discharge petition, the book, this is all creating a perfect political storm. And a lot of people are like, no one cares, it's over. I don't think it is. I think it's still in the minds of a lot of people. I think there still needs to be some kind of larger accountability. There needs to be some kind of transparency, as these questions will keep festering, growing, building, and will impact not just the midterms, but the legacy of the current president of the United States. And again, some people are saying, wait, no way. I'm saying, and then people who, counter me on a lot of this stuff, they're saying, doesn't matter, go away. I'm like, it's not, especially when you talk to like normies and regular people. Again, we have a lot of Epstein shirts that we have on the bestpoliticalshirts.com. People stop me all the time, like, oh yeah, that's pretty wild, pretty interesting how that stuff's unfolding, isn't it? As right now, we're also finding out that no one wants to buy Ghislaine Maxwell's New Hampshire estate. Who would have thought? Listed last summer for $2.5 million. now has been reduced to $2.3 million. Again, beautiful house, but I think it has some bad juju there. To be quite honest, as it's a lot of land, a lot of property taxes, real estate, not doing too good. But anyway, I wouldn't want that negative juju, to be quite honest with you. As of course, what's going to be the next chapter of this? Well, listen, there's a lot of things that could be released. The Epstein files will be put to a vote. It probably will be voted on positively by members of Congress. This issue will be forced. And it seems like it's going to be a very inconvenient one for Trump, unless Trump gets ahead of it, which I think he needs to. And if you agree, share this video, because I think we need to get ahead of this. We should have got ahead of this a long time ago. And we said it from the very beginning, like, Trump needs to, like, get ahead of this. Trump needs to do the right thing here. Let's hope he does. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys sharing this video, getting the t-shirts, supporting independent media. And this is why I love you guys. Stay tuned for more, all here exclusively on youtube.com/weare.